Well, welcome back to the Lockdown Tactics. I'm really looking forward to this episode. Snoddy told me that he had something up his sleeve. So what have you got for us, Snodcast?
Boydy, we've got a theme in here, mate, of Champions League winners. You know it. You know exactly what we're all about in the Lockdown Tactics. Produced the goods here, Boydy. He's a busy man, lifting titles. Good mate of mine. He's a Scotland legend at such an early age, as they say. He's a Scotland captain, flying for Liverpool. I want to introduce to the show no other than the Liverpool left back, Andy Robertson.
How are we, lads?
Robbo, how you doing? Robbo, just before we get started, I've got a wee question. I need to find out here. You know, he's got himself a trim, but we were speaking there before we come on. He was talking about, because of the state of his teeth, he's going to get them maybe sorted. So I'm going to throw it over to you. Who's got the best set of gnashers, Bobby Firmino or your gaffer?
Both of them have got a good set, to be fair. I think yours would be a good trio. The gaffer get a lot. Gaffers look good, to be fair. I think
Snoddy, what did you do with your ones?
Move on, hurry up, let's get started. Right, you ready? Robbo, listen, let's get straight to it. We seem as if we're a million miles away for that tweet in 2012. Life at this age is rubbish without no money. Hashtag need a job. Explain it here at Lockdown Tactics. Obviously, we know how far you've came, but take us back to that moment, Robbo, and how you're feeling.
Yeah, obviously, I was just coming out of school. You know, everyone was going to like university, college, and you know, education. I wasn't the best at, and I wasn't really interested in it, so I didn't want to jump into it. So, yeah, I didn't have any money or a job, and you know, obviously, I was at Queen's Park at the time, but only paid expenses. So, I needed to go out there and find somewhere, and I was just turning 18, and obviously, you know, you start getting a bit more socially active, and you know, probably didn't have any money to do that.
Well, it's changed days for Queen's Park now as well. They're throwing the money about up here as well. They're making a comeback there as well, Robbo.
Yeah, maybe one day them putting a bit of money into it. Maybe when I'm old and grey, I can maybe go back there. But yeah, look, all changed days from there. I get £18 a week off them, just for expenses, and only covered a bit of my petrol money. So now they're flinging cash at it. So, you know, I hope the lads that played for them all the years ago get reimbursed with some money, hopefully.
I'm sure you need it. Right, moving on to the manager. You know, as a manager, the manager players, you look as if, you know, as a team, you work hard, but also have a bit of fun. Is that a fair assessment of the group at Liverpool right now?
Yeah, look, both of you played, and, you know, when the good times come, then you have to enjoy them. For me, if you can't enjoy, you know, winning games and winning titles and stuff like that, then, you know, what can you enjoy? So we make sure we have the right balance of, you know, a bit of laughter, but when it's serious, it becomes serious. And I think the gaffer and the coaches get that pretty spot on. You know, when it's game day, you know, when it's time to, you know, prepare properly, but we also know when to have a laugh and a joke. And I think that's why, you know, the squad's so close as it is just now.
How influential has Jurgen Klopp been on that?
You know, obviously I wasn't there when he first came in, but from, you know, the staff and the players that were there from day one, he basically changed the whole outlook of Melwood at that time. You know, he made sure everyone then came together. You know, the players are obviously the ones that go out and do it on the pitch, but, you know, he makes everyone feel as important as each other. So whether it's the chefs, whether it's the kit men, they're as important as the players, and you create a family atmosphere, and that's exactly what it is. You know, we all enjoy going into work, and if you have 70, 80 people working in Melwood who are all buzzing to come into work, then, you know, the chances of success are a lot higher, and that's down to him and him alone, and everyone's kind of jumped on the back of that.
Robbo, a few it seems obviously we're in lockdown for a while, so it's a few months ago now. So we had Danny Rose on the podcast, and he spoke really highly of yourself. He says you're the benchmark for all left backs right now, and he's obviously you're what he's driving to get to that level. A lot of pundits in the media are saying you're in the world class, the elite level. How does that sort of stuff make you feel?
Yeah, look, praise is always nice, but I don't see myself as that, and that's, I think, the main thing. I think I always try and improve every single day. But I don't see myself in that elite level. I know I'm playing for one of the best teams in the world, and I'm playing at a high level, but I always try and get better. And that's, obviously when people play the position like Danny Rose, when I was at Hull, I used to watch him so carefully because him and Kyle Walker were the best in the business at Tottenham. So when people like him say it, it's always a bit nicer and you take a bit more notice. But I try and work hard, and I know I can get better. So whether people are saying I'm world class or I'm not world class or whatever, then it's people's opinions. But for me, I always try and get better, and I know I've still got a lot more to give, hopefully. So that's where I just kind of listen to my own myself, because I'm probably my strongest critic, and if I can, the day I'm happy is probably the day I retire.
It's good to hear you speak like that, because it's, even though you're at the top level and you've won what you've won, you've still got that burning desire to kind of always be better, which is a great trait. But how much improvement do you feel is still in Andy Robertson? Because the Andy Robertson we see is leading he's in the top 3 in the assist, 20 odd assists for, I think it's the start of last season. You and Trent, you're going at it with each other. But what people need to realise is, when you first went down there, it wasn't just as plain sailing. You had to be patient, and you had to bide your time to get in the team. And even now, when you're in the team, you're still trying to be better, which is great. How do you take us back to when you first went down to Liverpool, Robbo? And as you say, because I remember speaking to you on the phone, and it's the type of guy that I feel as if you're, and how you've got to that level is, you weren't just happy being at Liverpool. You went for Hull, and you wanted to get straight into the team and try and push and take us back to that.
Yeah, I think like the first 4 months, I helped the kit man probably more than I helped the team, to be honest with you. I was getting left behind. I was weekends on my own at Melwood and stuff, but it was all part of learning. You were right. I wasn't, some people that would maybe make that move from Hull or whatever, going down to the Championship, would just be happy to be there. That wasn't me. I always want to play. I always want to play games, and I tried to, go as best to where I can play games. And obviously the first couple of months, it didn't look as if I was getting many at Liverpool, but I knew I was improving every day. The manager was taking a lot of time with me. He was, making me learn the kind of Jurgen Klopp way and the Liverpool way. And, for me, I could see myself improving every single day without playing on the pitch. But, fans don't see that, media don't see that, stuff like that. That's all behind the scenes. And then, look, I knew I would get my chance. The gaffer kept on, was very positive with me, knew I would get my chance and stuff. And look, it's not easy getting left behind at weekends and stuff, but, I just thought the moment I get the nod to go and play left back, I need to take it. And I think kind of my earlier performances when, Moreno unfortunately got injured, then I kind of showed that, I wasn't going to be budged easily, because I was putting everything, maybe technically I was a wee bit rusty because I hadn't played, but my attitude and, the way, the commitment to the game was 100%, and it never dropped below that. And that's why, game by game, I get better and better and stronger. And, luckily then the manager kept faith in me.
You speak about, Liverpool and getting in and Jurgen Klopp, but let's move on to the Kop, the Liverpool fans. How much a special connection have you got with them, Robbo?
Yeah, look, the connection with me and the fans is incredible. To be fair, it's incredible with all the lads. And, when your team's winning on the pitch, it's a lot better to kind of relate to them than if you're getting beat every week. So, just now, Liverpool's the place to be. And Anfield before lockdown was bouncing every single game because they could see we were getting close to something special and stuff like that. But, for me, I think they were kind of willing me to do well. Most of the major trophies they've won over the years, there's always been a Scottish player, whether it was Kenny Dalglish or Graham Souness or whatever, in the team. So I think when it comes to it, they want the Scottish players to do well, and they were hoping that I could be a part of a squad to win trophies, and luckily I've managed that. So, people say I represent them on the pitch and stuff like that. I get that because, I give 100% in any game, but you know, that's the way I've always been. I've done it at Queen's Park when I was playing in front of 200-300 fans. You know, when the Saturday came, I always looked forward to a game and gave 100%. So it's no different playing for Liverpool or Queen's Park in that respect. But, you know, it's always good having a good relationship with the fans. Like you said, when the cops sing your name and they've got flags with your face on it and stuff, you know, it's an incredible feeling with, you know, especially playing with such a big club like this, that, you know, for them to like you as much as they do, it's, you know, it makes you feel good and it makes you want to do things even more.
Right. Robert, see if I take you back when you spoke about when you went at first and you had to be patient to get in the team. Do you feel as if, or did it help you, you know, having maybe some setbacks as a kid in terms of, I'm not coming here and giving this up. I want to, you know, because a lot of people would go, and if you're not getting an opportunity, you know what it's like, they'll throw the toys at the pram and away, I'll just get another club, I'll move on. I want to be the number one left back for Liverpool, but do you feel as if, you know, your maybe your setbacks as a kid helped you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the setback early on helped me, but also my career up to that point probably killed me a wee bit, because, you know, I'd went to Dundee United and I'd played every single game. I went to Hull and maybe people thought I had to adapt and stuff like that. The first game, Steve Bruce threw me in. So, you know, in terms of my career up to that point, I hadn't experienced being left out the squad or, you know, being on the bench or stuff. I was quite lucky that I'd always played. So my career up to that point made it a bit difficult, but the setback from, you know, when I was 15 was obviously helped, because, you know, I learned that, okay, if somebody doesn't, you know, it was never a case that the gaffer or the coaches or that never thought it was good enough. They just knew I needed time. But, you know, I'm quite impatient when it comes to these things, and I want to play football games, and that's why maybe I was my own worst enemy. But, you know, that they 4 months were crucial to what I'm doing now. I learned so much in the 4 months that I was ready to play for Liverpool at that point when I got the jersey. So, you know, I'd have preferred to have learned on the job and kept on playing, but, you know, Alberto was doing quite well, and I just had to be patient. So that's what I've done, and I looked back of where I've came from, and, you know, now you're at Liverpool, but I was never happy just being a Liverpool squad player. I always wanted to be, you know, the number one left back, and luckily now I'm doing that, and I've got to keep going to make sure I don't kind of go back to where it was. I want to be the number one for the rest of my career if I can.
See, to touch on it, Rob, a lot of people look at, you know, you say that you want to be the number one, and you need to work constantly, every single day, give your best. For people listening to this, give us a little insight for, you know, you say that 4 month, that crucial period in that 4 month, you know, it's probably made you to Liverpool. But what were you doing in that 4 months? You know, because everybody will say, oh, I trained harder, I've done a little bit extra. But in terms of mentally, you know, getting in early in the morning stuff, what were you doing?
Yeah, look, I was always one of the first in. I still, you know, I've always been kind of like that. I've always been one of the first in, and you know, I always made sure that if I did get left behind in the squad and you get kind of given the bad news, then yeah, it's hard. But, you know, I went and done my runs. I went and, you know, made sure I stayed fit. I made sure that, you know, any opportunity to, you know, stay as fit as I could be from opportunity I'd done. You know, a lot of the stuff was done, you know, not away from the trip, but like watching the game and seeing how the gaffer wanted the fullbacks to play, and how, you know, because it is quite a unique way. He wants them to play quite high up, and he wants them to press, and he wants them. So, you know, I was playing for a Hull that defended a lot in their own box, and, you know, 11 men behind the ball. That's not how Liverpool play. So, you know, it was a completely different way I had to learn, and it was about taking everything on board and training. You know, seeing the way he wanted, you know, his left and right fullbacks to set up, and how he wanted them to play. And, you know, and I remember in team meetings, I was just trying to take absolutely everything in, because I wanted to learn how, you know, the whole system worked, not just my position, and that would help me. So in that 4 months, it was tough. Like, I'm not going to say I was happy, you know, being about. I was probably a nightmare in the house. You know, my missus would probably back you up on that. You know, not being able to get the fix of a game on a Saturday was tough, but, you know, it was part and parcel of it. And, you know, the Liverpool career could have went a lot differently. I might have not got my chance, and I might have had to, you know, try and find a loan move, or try and, you know, get out of there the next year or whatever if I wasn't happy. But luckily, I believed in myself. I knew the manager believed in me, which was the big thing. And I kept that belief even in the hard days when I was sitting in the house watching the team on Sky Sports like every other fan, and you know, knowing that I wasn't involved. It was tough, but I always believed in my ability, and believed, you know, once I get this chance, that will take it.
Well, Steven Gerrard gave an interview and said that Kenny Dalglish was crying after the Champions League win. I also watched a few of the legends on Sky Sports after you said win the league. We've got to ask, do you like making grown men cry at Liverpool?
Look, that's part and parcel of it. There was quite a few wet eyes and the small party we had and stuff. So look, when you play with Liverpool and winning trophies means so much, and for the king to be emotional, it means we've done something pretty well. And he was obviously brought up playing as a player and as a manager as a success for Liverpool, winning league titles year in, year out, winning Champions Leagues. And, for this club to go 30 years without winning it was something that, we had to change. And that's why probably a lot of people were more emotional than usual. And, I'm hopeful that we won't have to wait another 30 years for the next one. And, hopefully it'll become a normal thing again that Liverpool start winning the league.
Well, you spoke there about Sir Kenny. How's he been to you and your family, and settling in and words of encouragement? How's that been, and how's he been for you?
Oh, from the moment I signed, he's been different class. The day I signed, I think he came into Melwood to welcome me. Him and his wife have been exceptional with me and my family, whether it was, settling into the house we're in, whether it was, getting anything we needed. They have. And, it's easy to say that, but, a legend like that doesn't need to be like that. He's got enough on his plate on his own that he doesn't need to look out for you and stuff like that. But, from the get-go, he's been so crucial for me. He helped me going with, I've spoke to him a lot about, Liverpool, and at the start especially spoke to him about Scotland. And he's been somebody that I've been able to turn to. Not many people can say you can turn to, Kenny Dalglish for a bit of advice. And, and then he's, obviously for my dad and my granddad and stuff, he was their hero growing up. And I remember when we beat Barcelona, he came into the box to say hi to my granddad and stuff. He was 89. So, stuff that he'll never forget. And, memories from my family there that he didn't have to do. And he was having a red wine with my granddad and stuff. And, for a family like us, it's quite emotional to see that. So, these things he doesn't need to do. These things he goes out his way to do. And that's the difference with him. And I tried to help him as well, whether it's, obviously when he got coronavirus, I think everyone was worried, me as well. And, obviously he didn't show any symptoms, typically Kenny, and he got through it fine. But, at that moment, that was when maybe it turned, and I was willing to do anything for them as a family as they were to me the last 2.5 years.
Brilliant, unbelievable. I remember we were away with Scotland, Rob, when he got some nice teddy bear and stuff to deliver for the kids. It sums him up as a guy, really. It's incredible. But I just obviously we're on the subject, obviously with Liverpool, and one thing that I want to ask you, Robbo, is how does Jurgen Klopp motivate those front three to work as hard as they possibly could, as they possibly can? Because you see them, they're like, people put them down as maybe luxury players, as as attacking players. But what does he do? Is there anything? Is he always working with them? Is it what does Jurgen Klopp do to get the best out of that front three?
If you don't work, you don't play for Liverpool. It's as simple as that. The gaffer doesn't really, care who you are. If you don't work at 100%, whether that's pressing to get the ball back or whether it's going forward and creating goals, you don't play. He wants people to give 100% in that. But to be fair to the three lads, their attitude's spot on without the gaffer being on them. It's the hardest. Sadio for me on my side is one of the hardest wingers I've ever played with. Bobby up front is he's the hardest working striker I've ever seen in my life. And he's so unselfish that, people say about his goals and stuff like that. Does he get enough goals? But for what he gives to our team, you can't replace. It's impossible. And for me, that's why he's one of the best in the world. And obviously Mo works extremely hard for being a so-called luxury player. So, they three work incredibly hard. Our pre-seasons are so hard in terms of getting us to the fitness levels to our maximum at the start of the season. That's usually why we get off the pretty good starts, because we're fitter than some other teams and we get in the groove a bit quicker. But they three are crucial to what we do. If we we couldn't do half the pressing that we do without they three. You know, they go from the front, and if they were lazy, then you know, the team would be nowhere near what they are. So everyone speaks about their assists and their goals and their quality and stuff, but their work rate is second to none. And you know, if they three can do it, then you know, for me, any winger can work as hard as that.
Well, Rob, see touching on that, you speak about the strikers, and one thing that I've always kind of says to you, where it's, you know, you need to adapt when you come away with Scotland, and sort of being an older head and being your teammate to try and get you to try and, you know, adapt to the way obviously we played at Scotland to the way you play at Liverpool. I've played against you. I've played against you at Liverpool. I've played with you for Scotland, and it's like totally different roles. Have you had to adapt to, obviously, when you come up and play with Scotland? Because just to touch on it and give you an example, when you go forward as two fullbacks, you have got like your sitter, maybe two sitters as such, and you've got he's obviously pressed so high in the opposition's half, and then Virg and Matip, you take the gamble, the risk, and you can go. But at Scotland, it's not so much like that. So how have you had to adapt your game when you go and play for your country?
Yeah, look, you need to adapt. You need to adapt massively. And, you know, I listen to every manager I play under. So what they want from me, I try and give them as best as I can. And, you know, Scotland, you know, when we play against, you know, Belgium and things like that, if we open right up, then, it probably wouldn't be a good result for us. So, you know, there's different ways of playing, and I believe I can sit in and be the left back, you know, defend and stuff like that. Look, I enjoy going forward, but I do a job for the team, and you know, now with Steve Clarke involved, if you know, whatever he wants from me, I give them. And yeah, it's two different ways of playing. You know, usually, you know, Liverpool are, you know, high press, high attack, dominate possession and stuff like that. But you know, that's not where we're at Scotland just now. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting results, and whatever way we get results, that's the most important. So, you know, like we can all adapt. You know, it's very rare that, you know, you go from club level to internationals and you play the exact same way. So I think as players, we always have to adapt. So it's something that I enjoy. It's something that I enjoy, the challenge of trying to adapt to two different styles of play, and you know, try and put them all into both of them. So, you know, like I said, I always do a job for the team, and that's my main thing. And whatever manager wants me to play in whatever way, I'll do it, because that's the best for him, and it's the best way that he thinks to get a result.
The time at Celtic when you were a young kid, does that appeal to you to go back there and having a go at it as unfinished business, or do you want to finish your career at Liverpool?
It's something I think about quite a lot, to be honest. You know, as my career started to progress, if you asked me, you know, when I was at Hull, would I like to went back up to Celtic, then I would have said, you know, 100% I want to play for my boyhood club, and the club I've supported all my life. Then, yeah, but now I've kind of found my home at Liverpool. I love playing at this club. I love being at the highest level, and if I could retire at Liverpool, I'd bite your hand off for it now. You know, playing at this club's amazing. The way we get looked after, the way, you know, the fans are. The playing at Anfield every second week is incredible. So, in an ideal world, I'd want to retire here, but I know how hard that's going to be. But you know, also probably when I was younger and saying I want to play for Celtic, I wanted to give my best years at Celtic. You know, I didn't want to maybe be hanging on and going up there at 33, 34 when I knew my best years were gone. So, look, it's something that maybe at one time I'll need to think about. I still follow Celtic. I still watch them most weeks if I can. And, you know, they're still a close place in my heart. So it would be hard to say no, but if I did have the option to retire at Liverpool, then it's definitely something that I would bite your hand off for, and I'd probably sign the contract now to get my retirement here. So things change, things move on, but it's always been something in the back of the mind that I would love to play at Celtic Park in a Celtic top.
Who do you think, Robbo, will be your biggest challengers next season in the Premier League?
I think there's, you know, I think even during this season, I know, like, we've got a big points advantage this season, and we've been so far ahead of all the teams. But I think as the seasons went on, more and more people have, kind of caught up and got in the groove. Man United, I think, are 19 unbeaten or something like that. Man City are incredible. Chelsea are doing well in the market, and they've also got an incredible squad already. Leicester under Brendan will be thereabouts. I think next year will be very competitive. This season, realistically, if both teams played to their maximum, it was going to be between us and Man City. I believed we were both probably ahead of the others, but I think Man United are closing the gap. I think Chelsea are closing the gap, and it'll be an interesting league title. But we need to get better. We don't want to stay the same. We want to get better, and we want to improve, and we've always tried to do that. So, if we improve again, then hopefully we'll be there or thereabouts. But I think next season will be a lot more competitive and a lot harder than maybe it has been the last 3-4 years.
Well,
sorry. Just I'm interested. How can you get better?
We can get better in every way. That's the way. Back to the manager. That's the way he thinks. He, his kind of one of his famous sayings is, "We'll never say we're the best team in the world, but what we'll get a team to do is beat the best team in the world," and that's what we've always went for. We've never said we're the best team, but we believe we can give the best team a game, and we can improve in every area. If we can do that, then we'll be even better. We can be more ruthless in attack. We can be better defensively. We can be, some games this season, we've grinded out results and we've maybe not been our best. So, our consistency levels are so high in terms of results and everything. You can't argue that for the last 2 years, but I believe there's improvements in this squad, and if we can make them, then we'll be even better for it.
Well, Boyd, we've got the exclusive. That's how Liverpool become better. He's just cracked it. Love it.
What to do? Send Snoddy.
If you want the banter, you want the banter to be better.
By the way, that could take it up a notch. There's nobody with better banter. So if he's looking for things, get him in.
I tried to convince him to sign you when I first signed. I think that's why I get put out of the team for 4 months. A suggestion like that.
Brilliant. The two of you teed that one up absolutely brilliant there. Just loved it. Absolutely brilliant. Well, listen, Robert, you've just been obviously he's exited the Champions League. He's are the Champions League holders. Who do you think is going to go in and win it this season?
Good one. I'm honestly not sure, because behind closed doors and it being in neutral venues and stuff, I think it opens it up to anyone. Before lockdown, Bayern looked excellent against Chelsea. Real Madrid are always there or thereabouts, but they need to overturn Man City's, which is never easy. I think Man City could be there. Juventus. I think behind closed doors and in a neutral venue, I honestly think any of them could win it. We played against Atletico, and they defend for their lives. They're so good at it. If they get a lead, then I fancy them to keep it. So, if I had to put my neck in the line, I'll go Bayern Munich.
Oh, Bayern. Rob, well, see as a team, what do you use? Like, you speak about that Atletico Madrid, and you're probably facing it more and more now with teams sitting in and you're looking to break them down, and then you see City will just go out and attack everybody. What do you prefer as a team, to come up against?
I think that's been us, adapting. I think that's been one of the biggest improvements under the gaffer. I think even the first season I was there, we had a couple of results where we couldn't break down teams, and because against the big teams we're so quick on the counter attack. We've got so many quick players that we can hit on the break, but now we've adapted that we can break teams down now as well. If people come up and put 10 men behind the ball or whatever, then we believe that, okay, we can be patient. And, Man City are so good at it. They're incredible at it in terms of being patient and waiting for the right opportunity. And that's where we had to get to. And I believe we can still be better at it. Of course we can, but we're starting to get there where we are being more patient, waiting for the right moment to open up and then going instead of panicking. Because obviously if people put 10 men behind the ball, the chances of counter-attacks are very slim. So we had to adapt our game a lot, and I believe now we can play both depending on who we're playing against.
See, in terms of when you speak highly of the manager and the way he goes about his business and everything, but his staff in general, when you hear a lot of people saying, we train so hard, and towards the end of the season, the intensity drops out of the team and stuff like that, with players and everything. How have you got the balance spot on? Because, according to all reports, that you train 100 mile an hour a day, every day, and your games are 100 mile, but you don't seem to drop off either.
Yeah, look, that's one of the gaffer's big sayings. He says, whatever we do it 100%, whether that's training, whether that's games, whether that's team meetings, whether it's partying. He says, 100%, and everything that we do is together. So, we know if we drop off, then, he'll be first to tell us. Henderson will be first to tell us. Milner will be first to tell. Like, these lads are so crucial, and so are the staff. So, when that, that's why, we've got the right balance in terms of the squad. We've got not one of us, really slacks, not one of us. And even if you had a small thought about doing it, you would get told straight away off one of the lads. So, that's why we keep our standards so high, and we give 100% every time. You're representing a lot of people when you put that shirt on, and we respect that. We respect that a lot, and they want to see us give 100% in everything we do, and we do that. And obviously, the gaffer's quite good at rotating and stuff like that, but staying strong and making sure we're all as fresh as we can be. And that's why for a full season, there's not many times where we drop off, and that's why, especially in the last 2 seasons, we've been so consistent, because we've all been fresh enough in mind, fresh enough in legs that it's only pain, and that's what he always says. It's only pain. You can break through the barriers, and if you think you're tired, then just block that out your head, and you can go further. And I think we show that on the pitch pretty much every game.
See, from last year, the setback of obviously finishing second with the amount of points that he's finished was unbelievable. Did you have to change much over the summer, or was it just a case of let's continue to do what we're doing because we've shown that we're good enough, we just need to keep going?
Nah, we showed we were good enough, and of course it was devastating. But if we didn't win the Champions League, it would have been hard. We had to win that, because a lot was said about Jurgen Klopp's team, instead of they're getting there and everything like that. But we had to become winners. We had to become champions of something. And we went and won one of the biggest prizes in world football. So, in terms of that we came back the next season knowing we were champions, knowing we'd made the next step, we'd won a big trophy for this club, and it was all about then taking that confidence, into the next season. And from the day we came back, you could tell everyone was motivated to win the Premier League. That was the one that hurt. And, I believe that, I did believe that this pre-season that we were going to do it, because you could see the lads enjoyed the feeling that much of winning the Champions League. We wanted to experience it again. And, of course, we've not managed to do that as much because of current climate and current situations. But still, winning the Premier League for this club was the ultimate goal. You know how much pressure's on you and how much of a burden it is to Liverpool fans when you sign here, and to give them that back is is our greatest achievement.
Well, this is Snoddy's favourite part of the Snodcast. I nearly messed that up there. Of the Snodcast, I'll hand you over. Let's.
Is this the Snodcast quick fire round now, Boydy?
That's it, mate. Let's see what we've got.
Hold on, lads. I'll be back in a minute. Hold on.
By the way, he just gave you. He's gave you the Harry Maguire treatment. He just disappeared, mate. He's not answering the phone. At least Robbo speaks to you.
Jerry Maguire. Get Jerry Maguire on.
By the way, it's unbelievable. Big Harry's just patched you, and Robbo's...
He's done the same. He's off. We'll wait on you.
Sorry, there we go, lad. Sorry, I'm back.
Get him in shot. Get him in the shot. Get the iPad down now.
Hey, go now.
Snoddy. The Lord Provost of the lockdown tactics.
The Lord Provost. Boydy, grab the honour for the Premier League winner now. Hurry up.
That one will be added on soon.
By the way,
where's that? Get that one. Where is it?
I love it.
I feel we were all going to come on with our medals, no?
Well, to be fair, Robbo, mine's is at my mum's. I was going to go and get them. Snoddy, you could go down the stairs and get into the kids' cupboard and get their chocolate coins covered with it.
Boydy, I've got my boat for craft and design for third year. Do you want me to do that?
Did you pass that, mate?
Oh, Robbo, that is beautiful.
That's the big one.
That's a big one.
I mean, is it?
You need to move it over a wee bit.
That is absolutely beautiful.
It looks good, that, mate. It looks good.
I'm not sure.
Boydy, that is as close to you'll get as Rangers getting the Champions League.
Don't behave yourself, mate. Yeah.
Rangers going to get to the Champions League again now, son.
Snoddy, some of us have played in the Champions League. Cut it out, bud.
There you go now.
Yeah. By the way, even if it was only for a couple of minutes, don't worry about that, friend.
Oh, brilliant. Robo, incredible. The medals are beautiful, mate. Unbelievable.